who created the reincarnation cycle for Earth?
It was a decision that was made, a bond among the many different beings that was part of your creation. And yet it was a decision that was approved by the Creator.
Okay.
The Creator in itself thought that could be a fun experiment.
Ah,
Let's give that a shot. Why not? Let's see what they can do with that way of having that experience of being a third closed off being and then go back into the fifth dimension wide open being and see, do they want to go back? And we're finding, yes, they want to go back because there are more they can learn. There are more to get from a third dimension being than they can do in just one life. Some can only do one life and they're saying, I got it, I understand it, I'm back to something completely different. And others need hundreds and hundreds of lives, either to learn a whole bunch of stuff or also to be at service for the humans that they are surrounding with.
yeah. So we're kind of a unique planet. Are
Yes,
there other planets that have reincarnation?
yes.
Okay. So is it the same type as we have?
Mm, there's always variations
Uh-huh.
within the reincarnations and what tools they have to work with. Some have different tools than you, others have different perspectives, but still the same system.
Okay, so if what I'm being told is that there is no time. So if we look at reincarnation, say, I'm living in this lifetime, and perhaps I lived 200 years ago in our linear time. Am I still living that 200 years ago life as well as this one at the same time?
In one aspect, yes. It all depends on where you are on your development scale. If you are on the fifth dimension, it will look like that, yes, you are all. I can go and I can see the life that you were living 200 years ago, and then I can jump back and look at the life that I'm seeing now. So it looks like you are all together, and yet you have a feeling it is two different places. And then when you go further up, you understand it on a complete different level of, yes, everything is happening at the exact same time. It is a concept that baffles many on your planet.
Yes.
How can everything happen at once?
Mhm.
The beauty of aspects, the beauty of being many places being a multi-dimensional being many places at the same time and have different experiences at the same time.
So that aspect of mine 200 years ago is an aspect of who I am now.
Yes.
But in the third dimension, thinking it's past.
Correct.
And current.
Because that is how you are seeing your life.
Yeah.
There is a birth, there is a death.
Yeah.
There must be different kind of lives. And yet you do not understand that you could jump to different kinds of times where you have had incarnations all at the same time. But all when you're going up to what we would call the highest level, that is not 9th dimension, by the way, this is much lower, but you will understand that everything is happening at once. Your oversoul, that is not your higher self. This is kind of your higher self. Higher self. Sometimes even that is higher self. Has spread its way out and saying, I want all of these experiences. I can see all millions of years on this planet, from the beginning till now, or till the end. And within that, I want this experience, this experience, this experience on these different kind of timelines. And you are dropping aspect down on them all. And you are still communicating. You are still having experiences from other lives. You are still sometimes sharing your experiences or your feelings. And when you get these, you are saying, oh, it must be from a second different life. It is from a different life, but it's still happening now.
So sometimes if you get a feeling and you can't put it to any reason why, maybe a happy feeling or a sad feeling, but nothing in this life relates to that feeling, could that be you're picking up on another lifetime, an aspect, having that feeling?
Yes. Usually feelings are not what we would go by. But yes, it would mostly be experiences that you are having.
Okay, all right. So if you had an experience that you didn't like a certain person and you have no reason, maybe you come across somebody that just crosses your path and the energies don't jive, you like, ooh, could that be from another lifetime with that person?
Could very well be. And many times when you have what you call déjà vu, is you are seeing an experience that you are having an experience that another part of you, or another aspect of you also have had. And you are now kind of comparing and saying, oh, this one had the same one. to understand that all of your experiences is being beamed up to your higher self. When you finally leave this planet, all of these experiences is now being cataloged and understood and digested in the fifth dimension. But as it happens, your higher self is still having a knowingness of what you are going through. So if this aspect of you in this incarnation, let's say that to make it clear, in this incarnation is having a fall, a very unique fall, and you are having a same unique fall, or you are meeting somebody, and it's like this I have experienced before. That is the connection that goes to your higher self and sending it down, and you are still, remember, you are having a minute-to-minute conversations with your higher self, even though you do not know that all the time. But you have a constant stream of communications between you and your higher self. So does this incarnation. And there is, certainly I have experienced this before, because you did it 200 years ago. Or an aspect of you did it 200 years ago.
Okay, so 4 years ago, I fell, shattered my left shoulder, and had to have total shoulder replacement with a titanium ball. Could another aspect of me experience that same thing?
Did you feel like that had happened before?
No.
No, probably not then.
Okay. I have been places, say England, where I have felt like I'd been there before.
Oh yes. You have been to that country many times. And so yes, going to that country will arouse a lot of feelings.
Yes, it did.
A lot of memories that is in your soul. No experiences never really goes away. Again, you still have your communications with your higher self. And your higher self knows exactly what you have done every minute at the time in any incarnations you have had on this on this planet. So the informations are there. It is not all the time that we can get the fully picture of why, or was I here before, was it a feeling, or you have the feeling, but you do not have the complete knowledge of why you are feeling as you are feeling. That is the veil we are talking about. That is really filtrating down, so you're just getting the feeling of, oh, this feels familiar. But the veil will not allow you to get a complete understanding of, yes, I was in this building, or yes, I lived in that city hundreds of years ago and I did this and this and this. Unless you are having or can go to your higher self, raise your vibrations over the veil, and you will then understand what you did at this time. But as you go around as a tourist and not really raising your vibrations onto your higher self, you will just get the feeling. Understand?
Yes. I had an experience probably 40 some years ago going to England and was on a bus going into Scotland. And all of a sudden, I was not on the bus. I was in the back of a wagon and got so sick to my stomach that while I was on the bus, because I saw myself in this wagon and I had been kidnapped, and I was about 12 years old at that time. And I was just hanging on to the seat in the bus because it was so real. And when we got off the bus, some of the people on the tour bus came to me and said that you would think that you had lived here before because they thought I looked like somebody that lived there. And I said, yes, I know I did. And that's the one time that it was so real. I was not on the tour bus when I experienced, I was on it, but in my mind, I was in that wagon being kidnapped.
That was the time when you took your consciousness and really kind of reach above the veil and into your higher self, that allowing that information to go back and forth. And so you had the experience that you have had in some other life.
Yes.
At that space, at that time,
Yes.
at this
At
area.
That particular area.
Yes. But if, as we were saying, if you were going as a tourist and just checking out the site, you will get feelings, but not pictures or anything like that. That's where the whale is filtering that out.
Yeah.
Because else your life would be very difficult.
Yes. Yes. I thought it was interesting that those people walked over to me when we got off the bus and said, you would think you had lived here before. And I said, yes, I did.
Because they have lived there before.
Oh.
Why do you think they were on the bus?
Ah. So maybe everybody that was on that bus?
Not everybody.
But some.
But quite a few of those wanted to have the same experience as you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew that is where that feeling comes in. Oh, I need to go to that place. I don't know why I need to go to that place, but I need to go to that bus. So they're going onto the bus to go to that place, to have an experience of something that they have had before that feels familiar to them. Your soul have a tendency to go to places that makes you feel familiar. Because that makes you feel good. This is nice. I have been here before. It might be a bad incarnation in itself, but it's still familiar to you. Because you don't understand if there was trial and tribulations going on with that life. That information is not coming through the veil to you, but just the emotion of being there.
For years prior to that, I don't know, when I was much younger, that was one of the things I knew I had to do before I died, was to go to England.
Yes.
And I've been there since then with my sister on a genealogy group where everybody on the group, we were related. And on that experience, my eighth grandmother was in wax on top of the coffin. And I've since communicated with her.
Yes, that is, let's say, a different animal altogether.
Okay.
You were not the grandmother, but you were still in a relationship. Let's say you have a relation with that soul.
Yes.
And through that relation, you can have a conversation, you can have a relationship with that soul.
That aspect. No, that wouldn't be an aspect of me.
No.
But it was my eighth great grandmother. And when I talked to her, she was telling me how that her consciousness was higher than what the people around her, and she taught me spiritual things.
Okay. You are meaning she taught you in that life?
In that life back. I was her granddaughter in that lifetime, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and in that lifetime she taught me different things.
So you have experience with the soul, and so it is quite natural for you to get together again.
Yes. Yes.
And for her to allow you to have an insight, one more insight into your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was what we call a teaching moment.
Mm-hmm. I guess one question I had that I kind of forgot about was, Ashtar, did you start this group?
Yes.
Called Ashtar?
Yes.
And people or entities were drawn to you is it kind of like energies that were drawn to you to do the work you do?
In the beginning, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream.
Okay.
I had an inkling of what I wanted it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I started by myself, helping others, letting people know of my dream, and others with much the same dream joined me. And it grew to what you were seeing on this day. As a fully awake community.
Yeah. So it must take a lot of spaceships for you?
We have quite a few, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you are working with Earth. And I can't remember if you said you're working with other planets.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So you need a lot of helpers.
Yes.
Well, this has been interesting. A lot of things for me to think about. And
That was the goal of this conversation, to get you and anybody else who are going to listen to this conversation, this transmission, to something to think about.
Yes.
To open up to a knowledge that is not always easy to understand and to comprehend as a third dimension being. We do know that. But the knowledge needs to get in to your energy fields now.
Yeah.
We do also know for you as a group on this earth, this knowledge takes a long time to trickling in to completely understand the nuances of that experience.
Yeah. I think the knowledge that all things are happening at once is hard for our physical brain to comprehend.
Yes. But as more as you are opening up to the idea,
Mm-hmm.
opening up to idea and saying, yes, that might be true, getting you a long way.
Yeah.
That allowing that wisdom to even settling more deeper into your energy fields, into every aspect of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you will beginning to accept it more and more you accept it, the more you will understand the meaning of it and also the beauty of it. Because there is a very beautiful side to this whole experience.
So everything is happening at once throughout the universe.
Yes. Hence, there is no time.
Yeah. And that's another difficult thought for humans in our third dimension brain, to comprehend no time, because we get up in the morning, we go to bed at night, we do different things in the day. We have time here.
See it as you are living now. What happened a minute ago do no longer exist. What is going to happen a minute from now do not exist. Has never exist. Now is what exists. And when you live in that, let's call it philosophy, let's call it manner, everything happens now. Because you do not have a memory of what happens a minute ago. And yet the knowledge that you are having and that you got from all the previous, what we could call previous times, are still within you. But it's not a knowledge of something that you have had a minute ago, an hour ago, a day ago. It is just a knowledge that is accumulated within you that you know now. That is the essence of no time.
So it's important to live in the now.
That would be preferable, and yet we do understand that this is not the world that you are living in.
No.
You do remember tomorrow. or yesterday. You do remember years ago. So that is the drama, the dilemma, your life that you are living. And yet, again, when you're beginning to understand the beauty of what you are experiences, when you're beginning to see everything goes into one, and there is a connection, and there is a meaning, and there is a higher understanding of what is called your life, and you're beginning to see that beauty, is the day you join us.
One last question. So many people on Earth, at least people I know, it's like we can't seem to remember things like we used to. Is that because we're moving into a higher frequency, and what, say, happened 2 weeks ago kind of fades out and we're moving into, well, the now?
There is, or it is mostly the energy that you are living in now. It is not like we only remember now, we are living in the now, and that's why we can't remember. Yet somebody can tell you, and then, oh yeah, I remember that. It is the energies is doing a trick to your brain. It is casting out information that may not have been used as much, that are not necessary. You are changing as people on by minute, by second, by second. Your growth as people is so much more expansive than it has ever been. And because of that growth and that expansion, your words, your memories, your experiences sometimes take a leap and do not come up into your frame of mind.
Yes.
We trust you. You have not forgotten anything. You still know the exact same thing as you did before. But it does not come up in your in your frame of mind because you are not there anymore. It is the energies that is aligning you for a different path. So don't be discouraged with yourself. Don't think you all are getting Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You are just several timelines away from where you were
Yeah. Okay.
some time ago.
That makes sense.
And those informations does not always being carried from one timeline to the next kind of timeline. They just being left behind.
Okay.
And sometimes you can try really hard and bring that back. And it will work. But that is the part of the dilemma of the frame of energy that you are living in at this time.
Is that across the planet?
That is pretty much across the planet for what you are calling the light workers.
Okay.
But others that we will not call not light workers are still having the same energies.
Yeah, okay.
But no reference to the energies. Those are the ones who really think they have Alzheimer's.
Yeah, right.
You understand your energies and can give you some leeway and give yourself plenty of leeway. It's okay to forget stuff. It's okay not to understand what happened before or where you are or just the remembrance, your memory or your lack of memory. Give yourself a lot of leeway. Give yourself a lot of love. It's okay. You are okay.
Okay, is there any last things you feel you need to impart to us before we close?
I think we have made our point that you need of who you are and what you are going through. We are giving you so much love, so much space to be whoever you want to be, and we wish that you will give yourself the same love and the same space to be in. We enjoy our transmission. It has been very interesting, very it has given us a lot of pleasure, a lot of warm hugs from us to you. And we wish you well until next time.
Yeah, thank you.